You're in your car, the dashboard dings, and the little yellow gas pump icon lights up, staring at you with that quiet, judgmental glow. You have a choice. There is a gas station right in front of you. It's convenient, the lights are bright, there are no weird potholes at the entrance, and it is right on your route home. But you look at the giant sign towering over the street, and the price is $3.45 a gallon. You bristle. $3.45? Absolutely not. Not in this economy. Not on your watch. You pull out your phone. You open up your fuel-saving app. You squint at the map, panning across your city like a general surveying a battlefield. And there it is, a glowing beacon of financial victory. A station on the complete opposite side of town, tucked behind a half-empty strip mall and a condemned mattress store, selling gas for $3.42, 3 cents cheaper. Your brain immediately dumps a massive hit of dopamine into your system. You have found the loophole. You have beaten the system. You put the car in drive, completely ignore the perfectly fine gas station directly next to you, and aggressively merge into 5 p.m. rush hour traffic to chase down a bargain. Welcome to SketchCents. I'm your host, and today we're talking about the absolute mathematical absurdity of driving 10 miles to save 3 cents a gallon. We are diving into the psychology of stubborn frugality, the bizarre ways our brains calculate value, and why trying to be the smartest consumer in the room usually ends up costing you everything, including your sanity. Let's talk about what this drive actually feels like, because you know this feeling. We all know this feeling. You start the journey feeling like a financial genius. You are a savvy optimizer of resources. But about 12 minutes in, reality starts to creep up on you. You hit a red light, not one of the quick ones. One of those massive multi-lane suburban intersection red lights where you have enough time to ponder your life choices, check your emails, and make unbroken eye contact with a pigeon on a telephone wire. You sit there, your engine idling. You calculate the route. You realize you have to take a left across 3 lanes of oncoming traffic just to get to this mythical discount station. You hit a detour. You end up behind a city bus making 14 consecutive stops. The stress starts to build in your shoulders. You grip the steering wheel a little tighter. The low fuel light seems to be glowing brighter, actively taunting you. You are now playing a high-stakes game of chicken with your own fuel injector, praying you don't stall out in front of a Panera Bread while trying to save the equivalent of a handful of pocket lint. But you push through. You refuse to give up, because to turn back now would be to admit defeat. It would mean the gas companies won. Finally, you see it. The station. You pull into the lot, dodging a rogue shopping cart and a pothole the size of a kiddie pool. You look up at the sign to validate your magnificent journey, and that is when your heart drops into your stomach. The guy inside the booth with the little remote control has just updated the board. The numbers flicker, and the $3.42 vanishes. It is now $3.47. It went up 5 cents. You are now paying 2 cents more per gallon than if you had just pulled into the station by your house 45 minutes ago. You sit in the driver's seat. You don't scream out loud, but you scream silently. You gently pound your fists against the steering wheel. You are utterly, profoundly defeated by your own stubbornness. So, why do we do this? Why do perfectly intelligent, rational adults turn into obsessive bargain hunters over fractions of a penny? To understand this, we have to do the breakdown. We have to look at the actual brutal math of what happens when you step over dollars to pick up pennies. Let's pretend the sign didn't change. Let's pretend you got there and the gas was exactly 3 cents cheaper, just like the app promised. You pull up to the pump, victorious. The average car has roughly a 15-gallon gas tank. If you are rolling in on fumes and you fill that tank to the absolute brim, you are buying 15 gallons of gas. 15 gallons multiplied by a 3-cent discount equals 45 cents. Read that number back to yourself. 45 cents. We are not talking about $45. We are not talking about $4.50. We are talking about 2 quarters short of $1. If you dropped 45 cents in a storm drain, you wouldn't even pause your podcast to look at it. If you saw 45 cents sitting on the floor of a public restroom, you would actively step over it. Yet for some reason, when that exact same 45 cents is presented to us as a per unit discount on petroleum, we are willing to risk our lives in gridlock traffic to secure it. But the math gets worse, so much worse, because the 45 cents is gross savings, not net savings. We have to factor in the cost of the expedition. You drove 10 miles out of your way. Let's say your car gets 20 miles to the gallon in heavy city traffic. That means you burned exactly half a gallon of gas just driving to the cheap gas station and back. Half a gallon of gas at your spectacular bargain price of $3.42 costs $1.71. Let that sink in. You spent $1.71 in fuel to save 45 cents on fuel. You did not save money. You actively lost $1.26. You paid $1.26 for the privilege of being stressed out in your car for an extra half hour. And we haven't even factored in wear and tear. The IRS estimates the true cost of driving, factoring in depreciation, maintenance, tires, and oil changes, at around 67 cents a mile. A 10-mile detour is nearly $7 in invisible wear and tear on your vehicle. You just cost $7 of depreciation to your car, burned almost $2 in gas, and wasted 45 minutes of your one precious, finite life on Earth to save 45 cents. When you put it out on the table like that, it sounds like absolute madness. It sounds like a comedy sketch. But millions of people do this every single day. This brings us to the escalation of the issue. What is actually driving this behavior? Because underneath the surface, this isn't about gas at all. It's about psychology. It's about control. Gas prices occupy a very specific, deeply weird space in the human psyche. They are the ultimate economic scoreboard for regular people. Think about it. You don't see the price of a gallon of milk broadcast on a 50-foot glowing neon sign on the side of the highway. You don't see the hourly rate of a local plumber rotating on a digital billboard. Gas prices are the only prices we are forced to look at in giant glowing numbers every single time we leave our houses. They are entirely unavoidable. And because of that, they have become an emotional trigger. They are the universe constantly reminding you of inflation, of geopolitical tension, of corporate greed, and of how expensive it is simply to exist. Every time that number ticks up a penny, it feels like a tiny personal insult. It feels like you are being squeezed. So, when you pull out your phone and find a station that is 3 cents cheaper, you aren't just looking for a discount, you are looking for revenge. You are looking for a way to assert control over a financial system that feels entirely out of your hands. Choosing to drive across town is an act of rebellion. It's your way of saying you might be overcharging everyone else, but you're not getting me today. But it's a trap. It is an emotional illusion wrapped in a financial disguise. This is what financial psychologists call micro-optimization. It's the tendency to hyper-focus on optimizing tiny, inconsequential details while completely ignoring the massive structural costs right behind them. It's the exact same psychological glitch that makes you spend 3 hours scouring the internet for a $5 coupon code, completely ignoring the fact that your time is worth more than $1.60 an hour. It's the reason you will happily add $40 of random junk to your online shopping cart just to qualify for free $8 shipping. We are absolutely terrified of feeling like a sucker. We hate the idea of paying a penny more than the guy next to us. But in our desperate attempt to outsmart the system, we end up outsmarting ourselves. We let our ego do the bookkeeping, and the ego is a terrible accountant. This leads us to the practical reframe. How do we break this spell? How do we stop stepping over dollars to pick up pennies? You have to change the lens through which you view a transaction. You have to stop looking at the per unit cost of an item and start looking at the comprehensive cost of acquiring it. The next time you are tempted to chase a micro discount, I want you to calculate your own hourly rate. If you make $60,000 a year, your time is worth roughly $30 an hour. That means every minute of your life is mathematically worth 50 cents. If you spend 20 extra minutes driving to a cheaper gas station, you just spent $10 worth of your time. Did you save $10 on gas? No. You saved 45 cents. You essentially took a temporary job as an amateur logistics coordinator for a Honda Civic, and you agreed to work for $1.30 an hour. You have to start valuing your time, your mental bandwidth, and your peace of mind as premium currencies, because they are. Money is a renewable resource. You can always go out and make another dollar. You cannot make another Tuesday evening. Every minute you spend sitting in traffic, glaring at the bumper of a minivan, silently raging over a 3-cent price difference, is a minute you are stealing from yourself. It's a minute you could have spent eating dinner with your family. It's a minute you could have spent decompressing on the couch. It's a minute you could have spent doing literally anything else other than stressing over fractions of a penny in a strip mall parking lot. True frugality isn't about paying the absolute lowest price for everything. True frugality is about allocating your resources, your money, your time, and your energy in the most efficient way possible to build a life you actually enjoy. Sometimes, the smartest financial decision you can make is to willingly pay a premium for convenience. Paying an extra 45 cents to fill up at the station right next to your house isn't a failure. It is a highly strategic purchase. You are paying 45 cents to buy back 30 minutes of your life. That is the best deal in town. So, here's your takeaway. Let go of the need to win the gas game. You are playing against a casino that owns the board, the dice, and the building. You aren't going to outsmart the global energy market with a smartphone app and a willingness to make unprotected left turns in heavy traffic. The next time that little yellow dashboard light comes on, take a deep breath. Look at the station on the right side of the road, the one that is well lit, convenient, and directly on your way home. Pull in, put the nozzle in the tank. Pay the extra 3 cents a gallon. Feel the absolute luxury of buying back your evening for the price of the loose change in your cup holder. You didn't lose. You won. You outsmarted the trap, and you get to go home. If this episode hit a little too close to home, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Drop a comment with the financial nightmare you want us to decode next. I'm your host. Thanks for listening to SketchCents, and we'll catch you next time.